Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we are back again with another Alliance War video. I will not be uploading the war that didn't count because we basically, kind of blasted it. But now it's War 10, so 3 last wars remaining, 2 after this one. And New Nations taking on AF. Definitely some very skilled players in that alliance, and New Nation needs to do really well in the last 3 wars without a doubt. So we have had a relatively rough season, and it's time to finish it the best we can. And I do have quite an interesting team for me this time around. It's Warlock, Kingpin, and Anti-Venom out of all champions. I think it is the first ever time I bring Anti-Venom to Alliance War. That said, let's get into it. And the first fight here, I will be using Warlock, and I'm just gonna be flat out honest with you. First couple of fights, I played quite poorly because I didn't sleep too well last night. Did these fights straight after my morning stream. My morning stream in general was quite awful because I got my butt kicked in battlegrounds quite a bit, and my stream quality was extremely uneven. So there were technical issues, and I was just quite frustrated and tired and groggy, and that definitely will kind of show here. So the entire plan here against Warlock against Toad is basically just, hit him in poison phase only, wait out the incinerate phases, get my parries in to get that infection going so I can degen him all the time. But here, because I did have max pacify, I did decide to risk it, and I actually used a heavy attack and immediately got kind of unlucky there. Got that incinerate on me, which gave Toad that massive fury, and it got scary for a while. So then I decided better be careful. So now I'm just trying my best, but I dropped a heavy attack at the wrong moment, and I panicked, and I used level 1 and virtually all of the hits put that incinerate on me with that massive fury, and it hurt. It hurt a lot. So that was a very stupid mistake. Luckily, it's only a few potions, and obviously Warlock is still a very great counter, but it was just one of those moments where I did something stupid, and then had a panicked response through my level 1, and it was the worst possible RNG that I could get. But on the bright side, no death still, and it's just a couple of potions. Should have probably put Indestructible 3 boost on that fight as well, based on how I was playing. Now this next fight against Spider-Ham, it initially appeared like no-brainer Kingpin fight here. Hazard Shift, Spider-Ham should be an absolute walk in the park. However, in between the node that reduces your defensive ability accuracy for each debuff on you, and an indestructible 1 that he has every time I reach a bar of power, he would go indestructible. And then also me wanting to drop my level 1s basically as soon as I get them means that the fight with Kingpin would potentially be less than ideal. So I spoke with my officers, and I decided to use Warlock for this fight and basically just parry heavy. Ignore how many spider nonsense charges he has, and just parry heavy the entire way through. And that's exactly what I should have done. What I shouldn't have done is get myself cornered at the start and eat a full combo. And this is another one of examples of me just playing poorly at start of this war. So what I should have done is what you guys are going to see me do later in this same war against Sauron using Warlock, which is just hit his block initially because I wasn't above 1 bar of power. He could not evade that, and I would have been perfectly fine and safe. Now, the rest of the fight is going to go fine. I'm just going to parry heavy. He's building his nonsense charges, but those do not matter because I'm only hitting him whilst he's stunned. And then because of infections, he doesn't really gain any power, and everything's good. I was running Liquid Courage Double Edge for these fights to get out of them quicker, so I had to go and quickly remove those masteries. And now I am going to be going up against Sasquatch on Hazard Shift. And this is actually, I think, a very, very good placement. Because obviously Sasquatch in itself is a defender that does demand the respect. Putting him on Hazard Shift significantly reduces options that you can use, but also Blood in the Water reduces them further, because if you do get a debuff, then he's going to get like a massive fury, And then on top of it all, it's Power Reserve. And Power Reserve with Sasquatch is extremely dreadful. Power Reserve with Sasquatch means that when he is in his Wrath of Tenerak mode, he doesn't use any power and special attacks. So the entire plan for this fight is basically just farm level ones. That's it. I'm going to be relying on Hector to reverse his willpower healing and, deal with healing that he gets at below 40% or 30% health. And then also Petrify is further reversing his willpower healing. And on top of it all, Petrify also helps me deal with Mystic Dispersion. And we are going to see it in a moment when he's going to enter Wrath of Tenerak. He just does not use any power here. But we are dealing him damage persistently and constantly due to the debuffs reversing the healing. And obviously the coolest thing about Anti-Venom in this matchup is I can take those specials on a block as well if I want. One could make an argument that I probably should have taken more specials on the block. Now, the power bar there gets dangerously close to level 3, but I am trying my best to keep on top of it. And again, as soon as those petrifies are back in place, it feels, much more in line. We're completely bypassing Hazard Shift because Anti-Venom is Incinerate and Poison immune. And now again, with Petrifies, with Spectres, we're just reversing a ton of healing. And there we are. That's one dead Sasquatch. Fairly decent fight duration as well. It wasn't that long. So I'm very, very, very satisfied that I suggested Anti-Venom for this fight to my officer and that it went pretty much perfectly. Did take a little bit of damage on the block, but we regen back pretty much all of it. Next up, we have Domino, and this is one of those nodes where if I get 3 debuffs on me, Domino goes unblockable, so it's steady build up unblockable line. But there is no way Domino is going to place 3 debuffs on me. So I quickly place my Liquid Courage Double Edge back, and now I need to destroy that Domino, and I'm going to be using Warlock for that. Obviously, Warlock is a solid Domino counter. We have better options now, without doubt, but obviously Nimrod was banned, and this is just, what I happen to have on me. And Warlock is still a very good Domino counter if you discount all the crit fail damage that you end up taking from it. Like, if Warlock would not be taking crit fail damage, then he would be, very, very, very good counter Domino. Unfortunately, Warlock came out before that was really a thing for the tech class, so here we are, and that crit fail does hurt quite a bit. The entire plan here is just to slowly but surely build up to my level 2, keep her power in check. I do not really want to push her past bars of power. Now I do it with my level 2, but that's not end of the world, so she's lucky, so I need to be careful with that, knowing that I can evade and reduce stun duration. But it's going to be fine. Now, I could have made this fight shorter if I had a tech boost active, or if I used power stat 1 boost. But I thought this was my last fight with the Warlock because I completely blanked out for a second, being sleepy, and I forgot about something. Now, I do need to deal with Null here on steady build up unblockable as well. But because I'm running Liquid Courage Double Edge, and I also get a heal block debuff, I basically start with no debuffs active on me, which makes this fight significantly easier. Because at max sig, Kingpin starts with like 4 debuffs on myself, and then in between Null's debuffs and in between everything else, I basically end up purifying everything. And here I did end up eating a couple of hits, but with that the fight's over. Here I'm just going to Kingpin against Null is super fun time. Convert all the debuffs, get rages, have fun. Absorbing Mind's obviously amazing option as well, but we went with Kingpin this time around. And now I need to go and deal with this Sauron, which I completely kind of forgot about. Because otherwise, I would have activated Tech Boost earlier. But it's fine. That is fine. So it's Hazard Shift, Stun Immune, Sauron. And here, I'll play the way I should have played against Toad, basically, where when Incinerate phase is active, I'm going to get in a parry here and there to start building my infections. But I'm also going to hit his block to make sure I do not get cornered. And now that the poison phase activates, I can basically go ham and, just build up to my level 2. And with tech power boost, we're going to be fine. Somebody's running Resonate. That's interesting. So again, he's in Incinerate phase. I need to bait out at level 1. A bit of practice. Initially Sauron's level 1 seemed a bit confusing, but with a bit of practice, it's relatively easy. Now there, I, again, got extremely unlucky by hitting him once while Incinerate phase was still active, and obviously it did trigger. But it's fine. We're finally at our level 2, and I dropped the level 2 in Poison phase. Last hit again. One hit in Incinerate phase, and we trigger it. But it's fine. We're back nearly to 2 bars of power due to that. I'm just hitting his block to keep my spacing, to keep the momentum of the fight. Now he's in Poison phase, and I'm good to go for another level 2. Unfortunately, I did not even notice that I didn't have Infection on at the start of that special, so I didn't even kill him. But it's fine. We await level 1 and finish off the fight. And yeah, so that's War 10 for me. Not the best, not the worst war, though. A few more items than I would have liked, but as long as we didn't screw up too much. Now, it was clear that we were going to win this war by the time I was doing my fights. This is the last time I checked in on the result, and we had like a 12 death lead. So we actually somehow cleaned up our play. And let's hope that we can play just as well for the last 2 wars and end up in Masters 10 and then get top 3 rewards because of Kabam's kerfuffles. But, that's the plan. Whether it will happen that way or not, who knows. How is your alliance doing? And is your alliance pushing the best you can now that you know that you will get rewards of tier above? Or you're just taking it like you normally would? Anyways, that is it for today, and I'm going to catch you guys later. Bye. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about